Okay, here's my audience. Before we begin, I just want us to ask ourselves, where are we right now? And the answer to that question is that we're on a Zoom call. At least you guys are, and I am too, technically. But Zoom and things like FaceTime group, like FaceTime, are things that I never really think of using before the pandemic. Never even knew what Zoom was until, the famous March 2020. But because of the pandemic, our lives have changed forever in many ways. But I'd like to take this time to look to the future, and for me to give my good blessings as we're rounding the corner of the pandemic, as we reflect on this past year, a year and a half more like. So we definitely had some change in schoolwork. All my homework with all my school is online, even homework, even classwork. Some of us may have had asynchronous classes, some of us have had synchronous classes. It really depends on what school you're going to, what classes you're taking. But for me, it was definitely a sense of loneliness in a way. Having those classes where you don't really talk to anyone besides group discussions could be kind of loneliness of. But I know that some of you guys have had many classes where, you guys have Zoom calls and things like that, and sometimes in early mornings. Another thing is a change in social life, especially to some of my friends in the Zoom call right now. I haven't seen many of you guys in months. And when we do see each other now, most likely we're vaccinated or something of the sort, or we just mask up and try to stay apart. And my personal habits have changed too. My room has actually gotten a little bit dirtier since the beginning of the pandemic, but that's okay. It's all in your own motivation. Even though we had all this time during quarantine to clean and whatnot, not all of us are the same. All right. So going into what rounding the corner of the pandemic means is that maybe we get vaccinated, maybe we continue to mask up, but at least we got to get those numbers down. And so I applaud everybody for continuing these safe practices as we see the numbers in America dwindle as we finally continue with our lives. Thank you. And here's my audience again.